What's going on, guys? David Falla here. Welcome to another tutorial. Today we have a very fun tutorial just because my client's gonna cut off his hair. He's gonna go over number 3 and skin fade on the side, so it's gonna be a total transformation, so it's gonna be a fun video. So let's go ahead and start. Welcome to my YouTube channel, guys. So the first thing we're going to do, we're gonna use a number 3 with the lever closed to cut the top. So the first thing, obviously, when we have hair like this and it's so long, we want to remove all the hair so we can actually see what we're doing. That's the most important thing. I always start with the top now. So what I do, I cut the top first and then I fade from there. And this case is going to be exactly the same, so we're going to remove everything. I want to take the opportunity to give a big shout out to everybody that is serving on the military. The reason why my client is actually cutting off his hair is because he joined the I think it was the Marines, and then he's he's right now doing his training. So shout out to everybody that's in the military. Thank you for everything that you guys do. So once we remove everything from the top, we're gonna go ahead and continue removing everything on the sides as well. I feel like it's way easier to do what you want to do when you can actually see what you're doing, right? So by removing everything that you know, like in this case it's a 3 on top, so we cut everything with a number 3, then it makes it so much easier for us to see what we need to do next. I'm gonna do this the most basic way, and it's because I know a lot of people are watching videos right now because they're trying to learn how to do a fade. So this is gonna be like kind of 2 haircuts in one, right? The first thing I want to show you is how to do a fade with a 1, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I use my fingers as a measurement, so 3 fingers from the ear, and that's when I'm gonna make my guide with the 1. And that's gonna be just in case that I want to fade a 3 into a 1, then that will be the way I will do it. So right now I'm gonna use a number 2, and remember the 2 is gonna connect with the number 1, the one with the number 3 that we pass on top. So the 3 connects to that number 2 that we're passing right now, and then we're gonna use 1.5, a 1, and then we're done if we're just gonna leave it at 1. So what I'm gonna do after, and I'm actually gonna use a 0 to show you guys how to do a skin fade as well. So in this haircut, I kind of wanted to show you how to do a 1 fade and also how to do a skin fade, just in case that you guys decide to do either one. So here we're using a number 1.5. We always start with a lever open and then we close it little by little. That's the way I like to fade. I like to fade from top to bottom, and I fade from lever open to lever close. That's just the way I like doing it. So here I'm using again a number 1 with the lever open or down, how you can see it, and then we're gonna go ahead and use that and continue working on that guide that we created at the beginning. And then once that's done, then we'll be done pretty much with a number 1. Obviously we'll have to remove the hair that is on the bottom that we left there. We'll remove it with the same number 1 that we did the first guide, and then we will be done, right? But it's just I wanted to show you this just in case that you're looking for like a short haircut but not necessarily like a skin fade, right? After we are going to do a skin fade, I'm going to show you how to do it from there. So remember, just to recap what we did a 3 on top, then we do a guide with the 1 closed, 3 fingers from the ear, and then we use a 2 to blend into a 3, and then a 1.5 to blend into a 2, and we use a 1 with a lever open to blend into a 1 with a lever closed, and then we'll be done with that fade. So now we're using a half. The half guard is a guide that is between the 1 and the machine without any attachment. So that would be like kind of like a 0, like a high 0, to say it like that. So that's what we're using right now. We'll continue down fading, and then what we're gonna do after that, we're gonna create a guide. So if you remember at the beginning when I told you guys to measure, right, to measure like with 3 fingers. So now from the ear, now we're gonna use 2 fingers from the ear, right, and that's where we're gonna place our 0. So you can see we're gonna place our 0 right there, and we're gonna create another guide that we can see, right, so it makes it easier for us to erase. Okay, so now I'm using a machine that just to remove the bulk from the bottom. So this is just to remove bulk, and I just want to make sure that the whole bottom is clean to make it easier for me to just erase that 0 that we just placed on top of that, and then we'll be done with it. So pretty much we did a 3, we did a 2, a 1.5, a 1, a half, and a 0. Those were our steps to create a high fade. In this case, I'm using a shaver just because the client wants it really tight. So I'm using a shaver. If you don't have a shaver, you can use a razor. If you have a razor, just shave right under that guide that you made with the 0. And that's pretty much what I'm doing right now, just to make sure that it's really skin, and it takes a little bit longer to grow out. And you know, that's the reason why we're trying to do this. Also, it gives like a nicer kind of like appearance, in my opinion, just because it's really shaved on the bottom. It just creates such a nice transition from like light to dark. So it just I think it looks pretty nice, and obviously it takes a little bit longer to grow, so that's always a plus. So here I'm using a trimmer. Sometimes when you use electric shaver, you can create a guide. If you create a guide, like a little line, then you can use your trimmer to remove that guide. So you can see I'm using it in 2 different directions, just in case, just to make sure that there's no lines there or anything like that. Sometimes the best way to avoid creating those guides is by not putting a lot of pressure on your shaver. So when you are trying to shave the bottom, don't apply a lot of pressure, so make it easier for you to remove that line. So right here, what I'm doing, I'm actually starting to remove the 0 guide that I placed. So I started with the lever open, and then what I'm doing, I'm closing the lever little by little, how you can see. And what I'm doing is not applying a lot of pressure, and also using kind of more the corner, so I have more control of what I'm doing, instead of placing the whole blade on the head. From here on, it's honestly just about you playing with the lever, opening the lever, closing the lever a little more, just playing with it. Just use the mirror, or you obviously just use your eyes, just to make sure that you can see if there's some spots that are a little bit darker than others. And make sure that obviously you got decent lighting, so you can see if there's something going on that is, you know, maybe you know, if it's too dark, you might not see those shadows and stuff. Take a picture. You can also, something that I do, for example, when I do events or when I do shows, is like I use my phone, I take a picture of the haircut just to see like if there's something that is needs to be light up or anything like that. And that's it. So here I'm using I'm just using the razor to line up the top, the forehead, sorry, to line up the forehead. And that's it. I use the mirror for this. What I do, I place my guide right in the middle, in the center of the forehead, and then I work my way out, and then I use a razor to make sure to make it sharp. And that's about it. I try not to push it back too much, just a little bit. And depends on the client. Obviously, you're gonna have to talk to your client and ask your client if they want it to be a little bit more pushed back or no, and things like that. It's all about consultation. That's really all that matters. Once you're done with that, just make sure you clean the neck. The reason why I always point it out in my videos is because people send me haircuts that they do and they look amazing, and then I look at the neck and it's always full of hair. So just keep that in mind. But how you say, this is how you saw, this is a pretty easy haircut to do. It looks very clean, very nice. All we did is a 3 on the top and skin on the sides, and I show you how to do it in a way that I think is easier, but also show you a different way if you don't want to skin it but you just want to leave it with number 1. So that's it for the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoy. If you did find it useful, don't forget to subscribe, like it, and share with others. I'll see you guys later. Take care.